I don't care how happy or unhappy you are with the results of the recent election, but I am going to need you to reach out to your representatives. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Medicare only covered telehealth for people who lived in rural areas who were unable to access medical care because they were several hours away from a specialist. And they needed to be either in a doctor's office or some other medical facility while they were conducting the telemedicine visits. During the pandemic, because CMS, the people who run Medicare, wanted people to stay home and didn't want them traveling and going to doctors' offices or other healthcare facilities, they loosened the rules. And the commercial payers pretty much do what Medicare does. So in 2020, they allowed people, no matter where they lived, to have telemedicine visits, and they could do it from their home. And this was fantastic. So people who had difficulty with, not even if they didn't have problems with COVID, even if they didn't have fevers or things like that, people who have difficulty with mobility, people who have difficulty with transportation, people who were sick from whatever reason did not necessarily have to miss their doctor's visits because they could have a telemedicine visit. I mean, even for people who the babysitter quit on them at last minute and they can't come into the office, we could see these patients and they didn't have to wait or delay their care. Effective December 31st of 2024, the rules for the most part are going to go back to what they were pre-pandemic. So CMS is planning to stop covering telemedicine visits from people's homes. People have to be in rural areas, and they have to be, again, in a medical facility or a doctor's office while they conduct their telemedicine visits. There are a few exceptions to these rules. So people do not have to be in a rural setting if they're on home dialysis, so they can conduct their monthly end-stage renal disease visits via telemedicine, even if they're not in a rural area. Same thing for people who are experiencing symptoms of a stroke. They can have their evaluation even if by telemedicine, even if they are not in a rural area. Same is true for people who require treatment for substance abuse or mental health disorder. They can continue to conduct telemedicine visits. You can also get coverage for telemedicine for diabetes education and for medically required nutritional counseling. But for people who just need follow-up for whatever, their diabetes or whatever it is, they can no longer have telemedicine visits if they are in an urban or suburban area, and the people can no longer do it from their homes. Many of us think this is going to be a huge disadvantage again, especially for people with limited mobility. So whether you like your current or newly elected representatives, I urge you to please contact them and urge them to request CMS to not discontinue availability of telemedicine.